Hello, my name is Shuhrat. I am here from AmCham Abu Dhabi. Our Women in Business community, in collaboration with the UPS and Institute of Management of Accountants, presents today one of the series of the events, Financial Leadership. So I will introduce our moderator for today, who is Nina Azi. She is the Senior Marketing Manager for Middle East and India for Institute of Management Accountants. Nina will introduce our moderator. Nina, please.
Thank you so much, Shuhrat, for the introduction. Greetings to all of our attendees, and we hope you're all safe and well. IMA, the Institute of Management Accountants, is pleased to be supporting AmCham Abu Dhabi's Women in Business Committee. We've been doing these sessions for quite a number of months, and each topic time and time again proves to be very popular with the AmCham members. And I'm sure today you will get some great takeouts from our esteemed speaker. Just a bit of background about the IMA. The Institute of Management Accountants is the worldwide association of accountants and financial professionals in business. Founded in 1919, we are one of the largest and most respected associations focused exclusively on advancing the management accounting profession. We are committed to empowering over 140,000 members worldwide. And with that, we support our members by helping them to strengthen their on-the-job skills, to better manage companies and accelerate careers. If you'd like more information about what IMA can do for you or your business, please visit our website on imanet.org for more information. It is my honor to introduce our guest speaker, Ms. Doreen Remen, CMA, CAE, Senior Vice President of Operations and Chief Financial Officer at the Institute of Management Accountants. Doreen has been a professional member of IMA since 1992 and joined IMA's staff as CFO in 2009. She holds the Certified Management Accountant as well as the CSCA, which is the Certified in Strategy and Competitive Analysis that are issued by the Institute of Management Accountants. As a Senior Vice President of Operations and CFO, Doreen currently leads IMA's Value Enablement area, which includes IMA's Finance, Information Technology, Human Resources, Facilities, and US Customer Service teams. She has her hands full. She is the Staff Liaison to IMA's Planning and Development Committee and is deeply involved with the Performance Oversight and Audit Committee. Doreen has senior leadership team responsibility for IMA's strategic planning process and works with all IMA value streams to execute plans and innovation initiatives and to deliver an efficient and seamless customer experience. Prior to joining IMA staff, Doreen held senior financial leadership positions in a number of privately and publicly traded companies. And today, this evening, this afternoon, wherever you are in the world, Doreen will be presenting a session on financial leadership, we'll be finding out more about the different roles that management accountants can lead through financial leadership, especially the skill sets needed to better perform as strategic leaders. Doreen, welcome, and over to you.
Well, thank you so much, Nina, for that introduction. It's my honor to speak today with all of you, the American Chamber of Commerce. IMA has a long-standing relationship with AmCham, and we're very happy to support you with this. So I'm just going to share my screen. And when I do that, Shuhrat, I won't be able to see the Q&A. So if there are questions throughout the presentation, please bring them to my attention, and I'll be happy to answer. Okay, let me see if I can get my technology to work here and pull up my slides. Go into presentation mode. Okay. All right, so you're seeing my slides. Just want to make sure we're good. Okay, all right. So we'll be talking a little bit today about financial leadership. and focusing on women in business and how we as women can develop our financial leadership. And I'm very happy to see such a diverse crowd today, including many men and people from all parts of the world, in fact. So this is what we'll talk about. We'll talk about financial leadership in a VUCA world. And VUCA is that acronym that stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. We'll talk about our unique role in the value chain as finance professionals and how we can meet the ESG goals of our companies. We'll talk about finance as a driver of strategy and transformation and the skills and competencies that we need for the future. And hopefully we've left some time for Q&A at the end. So here are the learning outcomes for today. This may help you qualify for continuing professional education credits. We're going to recognize how financial leadership is helping organizations and society manage and recover from COVID. We're going to examine how and why finance adds value to organizations. And thirdly, we'll identify the skills that financial professionals need to be competitive in the digital age. And we're going to explore finance's unique role in environmental, social, and governance roles. So this year has certainly been challenging for all of us. And I wonder if you remember when we used to sit confidently around conference tables, shoulder to shoulder, maskless like these folks. Now I'm speaking to you today from my home office, and this is where I've been working for the past 14 months. And some of you may be in a similar situation. Others have continued to report to their traditional workplaces, but many with precautions and fears. The past year has taught us that the world is volatile, uncertain, ambiguous, and complex. And organizations and people must learn to adapt. And nowhere is this more evident than in the finance function. So let's just talk a little bit about this acronym, VUCA. You may have seen this more frequently. It's not a new acronym, it's not a new concept, but it's something that we're being reminded of now. So it stands for volatility, and we have had to deal with volatile, rapidly changing conditions and expectations. And many of us are uncertain about what we need to do next. Each day we need to navigate complexity, and we don't have a clear roadmap, and we can't always trust that what we see is true. We'll be talking about trust today. Are we interpreting ambiguous signals correctly? So I think this acronym certainly describes today's global landscape. So we talked a little bit about ambiguity and trust. Edelman is a global communications firm that conducts worldwide research into societal trust in governments, business, NGOs, and news media. So in the next couple of slides, I'll be referencing the 2021 Edelman Trust Barometer. Now, prior to May of 2020, government was the most trusted institution, and trust in government was growing. But between May of 2020 and January of 2021, trust in government decreased sharply, from a high of 61 points on the Edelman scale to 56 points. So trust in government decreased in 10 out of these 11 countries that are displayed on this slide, where trust had previously been increasing. And I think we can attribute that to the pandemic, government response, sometimes government slowness to respond, sometimes over-responding, sometimes under-responding, sometimes trying to ignore things. So trust in government has decreased. And what has replaced that trust? According to Edelman, business is now trusted more than the media, more than government, and more than NGOs. In fact, business is trusted more than government in 18 out of the 27 countries that Edelman studied. Now, this puts enormous pressure on organizations to deliver leadership, including financial leadership, and it underscores the importance of corporate responsibility. The public looks to business for guidance during uncertain and difficult times. And COVID has certainly had a profound effect on all of our lives. According to the World Health Organization, there have been more than 140 million cases and more than 3 million deaths worldwide. And that health tragedy is compounded by widespread unemployment. Now, as the pandemic rages on in some countries, and notably and very heartbreakingly in India, there are signs of returning economic activity. The International Monetary Fund expects the world economy to grow by 6% in 2021. And the rate of vaccinations is increasing around the world. And that's a good sign. We're all very hopeful that we're going to be able to soon shed our masks. But the vaccines are in a race with the variants, and the risks remain. So leadership will be demonstrated continuously by how well organizations deal with the losses that have already been associated with COVID, as well as the opportunities that are presented by an emerging recovery. Now, finance certainly has a unique role in the value chain. And we have to deal with this COVID situation. In finance, we lead with the tools and perspective to see the company as a whole. We have a unique ability to see what's going on in all parts of the company, and we can connect the dots between opportunities that are identified by business development leaders and the logistical realities of operations. Now, we can also lead with data analytics, and that's important to ensure that strategic decisions are based on facts and sound projections instead of just simple intuition. We lead with an understanding of the regulatory requirements and the reporting obligations that we have in each country. And we also lead with business ethics. We in finance are often relied upon to be the conscience of the organization and to ensure compliance with ethics policies and sustainable business behavior. So we have an awesome role. So we'll just talk about one of the companies that has been profiled in IMA's publication, Strategic Finance, and the female leader of the finance team at the Gap. I believe she has since retired. But the Gap, as you probably know, is a US-based company that is present across the globe. I hope you're familiar with some of their brands. And finance, as Terry Stoll discussed in her article, has a very specific role to play in creating more resilient, efficient supply chains. She discussed that supply chain is a strategic lever in the strategy and direction of the Gap as a company. And Ms. Stoll stressed the importance to her company of the finance team, providing support across the globe, the whole globe, in both sourcing and logistics management. The focus is not just on forecasting and cost management, but also on strategic direction, vendor identification, and regulatory issues in each country. COVID highlighted the need for plans around disruptions to supply chains. The risks are broad and complex in nature, including growing cyber risk and the interconnectedness of global supply chains. Artificial intelligence and data science capability can aid in planning and direction. But the Gap saw the importance of having strong business continuity plans in place. And if you'd like to read more about the Gap and how they approached the challenges of COVID, you can refer to this article that is available on our website from Strategic Finance Magazine. Another company that is really interesting to follow is Coca-Cola. And they've launched initiatives to double their revenues. So they've really understood the importance of natural resources, especially access to global supply chains of water and other key ingredients to meet demand. So I'm wondering if your company is linking sustainability and risk oversight to your company's strategy. Over the last decade, corporations have been paying increasing attention to issues related to sustainability, as mountains of research, thought papers, and stories in the media have addressed growing challenges related to water scarcity, resource availability, climate disruption, waste reduction, and corporate social responsibility. So these are very, very current topics that IMA is deeply involved in. And we finance professionals have the opportunity to help our companies meet those environmental, social, and governance goals. And in fact, we can have a leadership role. We like to talk about profit with purpose. Customers, employees, policymakers, and citizens are looking to business to deliver progress on global issues, such as corruption, climate change, deforestation, ocean plastic pollution, and the fair use of human talent. And this includes embracing diversity and inclusion and employee engagement. The COVID-19 pandemic has prompted business leaders of every size organization to reconsider their business models, to approach resilience and resource dependency. And the CFOs, the finance leaders who take initiative and champion the sustainable business and integrated enterprise approaches, those are the CFOs who will be guiding their companies to superior performance. We can't de-link profit and purpose anymore. Now, it isn't so easy. IMA and ACCA have done research and published papers on how finance can partner with other parts of the company in order to deliver, and specifically with the parts of the company that are focused on ESG demands. These are shifting priorities, and CFOs and finance function professionals may think that sustainable business initiatives and reporting are outside their scope or perhaps too burdensome. And as a result, this work can have fallen on a separate sustainable business or corporate responsibility team that's outside the CFO function. And that might be a mistake, because members of the finance function have unique and critical skills to contribute that can make the work of the sustainable business team more complete, more accurate, and more business relevant. So I urge you all, establishing an internal partnership allows the corporate finance and accounting team to serve as business partners for improved decision-making across the enterprise. So this is a little visual of a finance partnering framework that was developed by IMA and ACCA working together to overcome the typical challenges such as leadership, time commitments, technology, terminology, and education that hinder effective cross-functional collaboration. So to surmount these hurdles, the framework encourages CFOs to consider three core components: the mandate to be involved, the use of information to drive better decision-making, and the development of talent and skills amongst staff. And more information about that is available on IMA's website as well. UBS is the global investment bank and financial services firm, and they have identified the increasing interest of investors in financing the transition to a low carbon economy, supporting sustainable and inclusive growth. Investors recognize that they can improve portfolio risk by facing these 21st century challenges and paying close attention to ESG issues. And these include the use of fossil fuel, the transition plans to more sustainable energy sources, and very importantly, the human factors of diversity of perspectives and the inclusion of multiple voices in decision-making. So finance has a very important leadership role in developing strategy and transforming organizations to meet these new realities and opportunities. And we can be very persuasive, as this young woman is clearly being in this slide. The role of the CFO has changed, and it's changed forever. Reporting and regulatory compliance used to be the primary function of finance, but now that is just one of many accountabilities. CFOs now have primary responsibility for enterprise risk management, and that involves identifying risks, assessing and prioritizing those risks, and developing plans to mitigate risks that threaten the profitability or perhaps even the viability of the business. And some of the risks that CFOs are examining are supply chain risk and technology risk, currency risk and commodity price risk. These are the things that consume CFOs' minds and our staff's engagement. Now, of course, the flip side of risk is opportunity, and that's so much more fun to speak about. CFOs are deeply involved in setting corporate strategy that leverages these opportunities. The importance of board engagement and investor relations has grown over the years as board members and investors look to the CFO team for reliable, clearly communicated information. And all of this, of course, is in addition to regulatory compliance, which will always be important. So digital transformation has placed this change into hyperdrive. The single biggest trend affecting accounting and finance professionals and affecting their financial leadership is technology. Now, amid the pandemic, I'm sure this has been true for most of you on this call. Organizations have ramped up their technology spend, and organizations are evaluating how processes can be automated or enhanced using technology. And we at IMA have changed our use of technology over the year. We're doing far more virtual gatherings, such as we are doing today. But this is true across the world. Finance teams adapted very quickly to closing the books remotely and performing everything else that they need to do. And we proved, our finance professionals proved, that we can operate very well under really stressful conditions, and we can master technology to make sure that we meet our obligations and our goals. So let's just look for a moment at the evolving role of finance and accounting. The former state was a focus on efficiency and compliance, and the future state is a focus on responsiveness and insight. The role of the finance team is enabled and enhanced by the new technology and approaches to data. And these include next generation ERP systems, advanced data and analytics. And with automation, the finance team has moved well beyond transaction processing. We're using, in some companies, we're using robotic process automation to really stream down that transaction processing time. We must make sure that we're continuing to evolve beyond the data governance role of control and verification. Finance professionals need to focus on the future and consider how they are adding value through their analysis and reporting. And we have help, don't we? We have a new set of collaborators for the finance team, and these include data scientists. What exactly is a data scientist? Statisticians, we know who they are. Data security professionals, really helping to secure all of our systems and data warehouses. We have IT delivery specialists in areas such as agile development. We have systems specialists in areas such as cloud computing, behavioral scientists, and people who are focused on robotic process automation, creating software to help accomplish tasks that used to be done by the team themselves. So these are our new teammates. These are our new collaborators. And we need to know how to talk to them, how to work well with them, how to question them, how to challenge them, and how to cooperate with them. Technology is transforming the finance role like never before. And finance professionals can expect to work with all of these new collaborators well into the future. So this requires new skills and new competencies for the future. So let's just talk a little bit about what those might be. We're hearing a lot lately about data science and how critical it is for accountants. So do accountants need to become PhDs? Do we need to become doctors of data science? No, but we need to have much more knowledge and finely honed skills in the use of data. So data science, as this diagram shows, is at that intersection of statistics and data applications and programming. This diagram emphasizes that a knowledge of statistics is important. And we all gained that knowledge, I think, in our undergrad studies. But the accountant and the finance professional needs to really understand statistical skills, such as regression and correlation analysis, hypothesis testing, goal seeking, and more, to be able to probe the data, to be able to ask the right questions and discover answers in the data. So brush up on those statistical skills. They really are important. It's knowledge that you should be bringing to the workplace. But let's talk about data applications. We've relied on Excel for so long, and Excel will continue to be very important. But we need to master the new business intelligence and analytical tools. So the question is, does this mean finance and accounting professionals should become coders? Maybe, possibly. We certainly have those abilities to learn these things, but maybe not. Maybe we don't have to become programmers. There is a shortage of data scientists, though, so it is a very valuable skill set to build. At the very least, we need to understand the capabilities of programming tools, such as R and Python, so we can work closely with the programmers. And we should not hesitate to add cool new skills to our toolkit, such as Tableau, which can be really great and fun to learn and provide us with that opportunity to deliver data in new, excellent ways to visualize. So most importantly, we need to leverage our holistic understanding of the business and the interrelated dependencies that show up in the data in order to identify opportunities and risks and know what questions must be asked and what problems must be solved. So make sure that in addition to gaining these statistical and data application skills, that you're working very hard to understand your industry and your business, making cross-functional connections, and being able to really understand what the important strategic questions are. That's what financial leadership is going to be all about. Now, the new digital competencies that are needed are intended to provide insight and foresight instead of simply oversight and hindsight. So in the past, descriptive and diagnostic statistics may have been sufficient to provide those oversight and hindsight reporting roles. But business leaders now are seeking predictive and prescriptive analytics, which require new data competencies. The management accountant and finance professional must be able to deliver the message, must be able to communicate through visualization and storytelling. And that's where programs like Tableau come into play. It's essential that management accountants acquire these skills in order to be relevant and add value in a rapidly changing world. So the World Economic Forum has identified these skills as increasing in importance in 2025. And technology, as we've been discussing, is certainly among the skills. But there are other skills of leadership that are also very, very important. And at the top of the list is critical thinking and analysis. That's followed closely by problem-solving skills. And this year, self-management skills rose high on this list. And self-management includes active listening, resilience, stress tolerance, and flexibility. Business leaders are increasingly reporting that they expect employees to pick up new skills on the job. The more ambitious among us will recognize the opportunity to advance our careers by seeking opportunities for on-the-job training through cross-functional exposure, and we will ensure our success by developing new knowledge and bringing new skills to the workplace through continuing professional education. So some of these skills you're going to gain within your company, learning from other leaders and other people within the company, but you have an obligation to continue to brush up on your skills and bring new knowledge to your workplace that you can share with others. So we have tools to help you. IMA offers this competency framework that ties all of the skills that you will need together. The IMA Management Accounting Competency Framework, which is available on our website, identifies the core skills that you need to succeed and advance in your career. And the framework is based on research into what management accountants and finance professionals actually do on the job and what they're expected to know to do their job effectively. The framework has 6 categories of competencies: strategy, planning, and performance, which we consider the visionary skills; reporting and control, where we are the stewards of the company; technology and analytics, where we can be catalysts for progress and change; business acumen and operations, where we partner with other parts of the company. And those are all tied together by leadership skills that are so essential as we progress in our careers. And a leader needs to be the champion of the organization. The foundation for all of these skills is professional ethics and value. The finance team is expected to be, as we said before, the conscience of the company and the guide as we navigate challenging waters. Now, IMA has additional resources to help members develop these competencies, so I encourage you to visit our website and see what we have to offer. But let's delve into some of these, into the components of our framework. The first one, my favorite, frankly, is strategy, planning, and performance. And these are the competencies required to be the visionary for the future. To lead the strategic planning process, as I do at IMA, to guide decisions, to manage risk, and to monitor performance. So these skills encompass planning, of course, decision analysis, strategic cost management, capital investment decisions, enterprise risk management, budgeting and forecasting, corporate finance, and of course, performance review and performance management. The next element of the framework is reporting and control. And this is something I think we all understand. These are the competencies required to measure and report an organization's performance and make sure that we are compliant with standards and regulations. So these are the skills in internal control and record keeping, cost accounting, financial statement preparation and analysis, tax compliance and planning, and more frequently, integrated reporting, reporting on those environmental, social, and governance issues. So the other set of skills, very, very important to our profession, is technology and analytics, as we've been discussing. And these competencies enhance the organization's success. So information systems, data governance and security, data analytics and data visualization we need to become storytellers and master those data visualization skills. And fourth is business acumen and operations. These are the competencies required to be a cross-functional partner, to be valued as a partner throughout the organization as you work with other leaders to transform operations and take advantage of business opportunities. So for this skill set, you need industry-specific knowledge. You need operational knowledge. You need to know what your company actually does, who does it, and how they do it. So spend time on the factory floor, in the distribution center, in the retail outlets, whatever it is that your business is doing. Make sure that you understand quality management and continuous improvement and project management. Get involved in cross-functional projects, put your hand up, gain these skills. These are the skills that will truly advance your career. And all of these competencies are held together by leadership skills. These are the collaboration skills, the inspirational skills, and the skills that will help you lead teams to accomplish organizational goals. So important skills are communication, how to motivate and inspire teams, relationship management skills, change management, project management, conflict management, also negotiation and talent management skills. Now, finally, all of these skills rest on that foundation of professional ethics. And these demonstrate professional values, the values of your organization, ethical behavior, and also legal compliance. And all of these things are essential to a sustainable business model. So you need to have skills in professional ethical behavior and how to recognize and resolve unethical behavior. You also need to be very well versed in your legal and regulatory requirements. So just in closing, I'd like to invite you to visit IMA's website to learn more about this competency framework and other career resources that IMA provides. If you study this framework, you will be able to identify your own personal skills gaps and where you should focus your personal career development. And I strongly believe that lifelong learning is the obligation of every professional. My advice is to take control of your career and chart your own path. Seek opportunities within your company to learn more about your industry and the work of other teams. And make a commitment to continuous learning and education. IMA, of course, has many resources for you, and we are very proud of the many leaders who have turned to IMA for continuous support on their personal professional career journeys. So thank you for listening, and now I believe we have ample time for some questions.
Thank you so much, Doreen. That was so informative. Anyone who'd like to ask a question, I'm Liz from AmCham. Sorry I joined late. I was hosting another committee meeting, but Doreen, I jumped in and got all the good stuff. So please unmute yourself. You have the subject matter expert at your fingertips right now. Are there any questions from anyone?
And I invite you to turn on your video so we can see your faces and enjoy a little networking here.
Absolutely. Doreen, it looks like we have a quiet, shy crowd today, but I think that comes with the business sector sometimes.
I think so.
Well, anyone at all? Raise your hand, do anything. Here we go. Okay.
I think Kathleen is going to ask a question.
Me? My turn? Okay. I just want to ask about, because I'm a little bit newer in Abu Dhabi than other people. And how do you recommend is the best way to really start your network?
Oh, that's a great question. So if Bashar is still on the call, he may be able to give us some really good advice in that direction. Liz, you may be able to help Kathleen understand networking opportunities in Abu Dhabi. I think that's really great. We can learn from each other on this call.
Absolutely. Well, I'll first defer to Bashar with IMA, if you'd like to say a few words, as you are our guest today. Bashar, you're on mute, but I'm sure you have something to contribute.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
So Kathleen's question is about networking opportunities in Abu Dhabi, as she is new to the region. So
absolutely.
IMA,
I mean, this is, I mean, one of the things that we have as one of the basics in IMA, networking, sharing knowledge, and expertise. And one of the latest things happened, actually, since we are talking about, networking, we have Marco Otti from the IMA Switzerland, who visited Abu Dhabi. And we met him like a couple of days ago. And it was a great experience, to collaborate, talk about, how accounting, finance topics during our meeting over a coffee. It was really great. I mean, this is one of the things that we really take it seriously when we want to network with other people. So, I mean, yes, I mean, we are always open for, professional networking. Doreen was one of our guest speakers, I think a year or almost like a couple of years ago. It was great also, and we had a great event. So yeah, I mean, in Abu Dhabi, we appreciate the networking in general.
Thanks, Bashar. Well, Kathleen, as you know, Abu Dhabi has just started its post-COVID recovery. So in-person networking events are coming back slowly but surely. And I would say for now, as we kind of hybrid between in-person and not, I found for me personally, networking through LinkedIn, it's a good old tool. And I'm just like at a networking event, if there's someone I don't know, I just shoot them a message and give them a sentence or two why I want to get in touch with them. And usually if you ask someone the very question you asked me, how do you network in Abu Dhabi? It pays off in spades. And I'm sure everyone on the call feels the same. So good news is we hope July 1, Abu Dhabi will start opening up, and there'll be a plethora of in-person events, whether it's through Abu Dhabi Chamber, whether it's through various women's business groups like ADGM, Aurora 50, Start Abu Dhabi. There's lots of SME things that are outside of the chamber. I know everybody's itching to get together with more than just 4 people to a table. So we're almost at the end of this thing, and we'll hold tight. So anybody else want to add to that? Oh, let's see. We have AmCham Kuwait. Please say your name. AmCham Kuwait, I believe it's Paola.
Yes, that's right. Hello, everybody. So my name is Paola, and I am the Acting Executive Director at AmCham Kuwait. I have a question for you, Doreen. Do you have a program for universities where you teach them how to do like basic finances and things in relation to finance, getting people more interested in this? Because there is a major difference in between, how many men are in that field, whereas women in that field, at least in the Arab world. So is there any programs that you guys are doing with universities and educational entities for this?
Absolutely. Working with universities is one of our highest priorities. We actually have an endorsed university program where we describe the curriculum that we feel is important to our profession, management accounting, and finance professionals working inside businesses. And we encourage them to cover these topics in their curriculum. And if the coverage is sufficient, then they can become an IMA endorsed university. And we have, I think it's over 100 now across the world, endorsed universities. A really important program. We also support students with CMA scholarships. We have our CMA certification. I didn't mention that in my presentation. I'm personally a certified management accountant, as are many of our members. And that's a certification that covers the skills that are most important to management accountants. We provide scholarships to the top accounting graduates to pursue the CMA. We encourage students to get involved. We form student chapters that are supported by our professional chapters around the world. What else do? We support research with a Management Accounting Quarterly publication, and we have case studies that are available for professors to use in their classrooms so that they can talk about real world business cases that support what they're trying to teach their students. So we work really, really closely with the universities and support them. You know, we know that many universities are preparing people for careers in public accounting. And that's great. Public accounting is an excellent career. And I know that we have people from many of the firms on this call this morning or this afternoon for you. But so many people leave public accounting after a couple of years and go to work inside corporations, or they may go directly to, you know, the finance team, the CFO team. And it's a different skill set. It really is a different analytical skill set that is necessary for career progression there. So, you know, we encourage the universities to teach those skills, and we encourage people to also do continuing professional education to attain these skills and to seek out certification specifically in management accounting.
Thank you, Doreen. We have another question from Dia. Dia, your hand is raised. Go ahead, please. Just need to unmute.
Yeah, you're on mute. We need to unmute you.
To unmute myself multiple times, then I was muted again. Okay. First of all, it was a wonderful presentation. I'm already a CMA student. I cleared my part 1 and will be attempting my part 2.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. Just wanted to ask a question related to the educational learning framework around part 2. Is Wiley sufficient, or additional course like Hawk or GLAIM would be recommended? I understand that basing my learning only on one course provider may not be sufficient, because different course provider have something to pitch in when it comes to a diversity in learning. So, well, of course, I don't have so much, I'm a working professional. I don't have so much time for GLAIM and Hawk as well, but looking into an advice, which one should I opt along with Wiley? I mean, I would want to go with at least 2 course materials, but not able to decide on which one to go ahead with. So if you can help me a bit on that.
Well, first of all, I congratulate you on wanting to be very thorough in your preparation for the exam.
Sure. Thank you.
I personally don't have experience with GLAIM and Hawk, but I do understand that people across the world are using them very successfully. So I think the important thing, Dia, is for you to, as you're going through the review course materials, recognize that it is a review. It's not an in-depth study of the material. So as you go through the review, you'll find that there are some places where your knowledge is current and you're great, and the Wiley materials will probably be sufficient to prepare you. But if you find that you are not fully comprehending, or you have some questions, or you just don't feel, then seek other support. And it's, gosh, a really long time, 30 years since I studied for the CMA. But like you, I was a working professional at the time.
Okay.
I had 3 young children. One was just a baby. And so I totally understand your challenges. I went to my textbooks, my undergrad textbooks. And I went deeper. And I did very well on the exam following that process. But it is possible for a working mother, working professional to set aside a little time each day. I did it in the morning, early in the morning, because by the end of the day, I was completely burned out and didn't have any more brain cells to contribute to my studies. So I made it a priority.
I can agree.
First.
Cannot agree more than that.
So I started my lifelong practice of rising very, very early and reading while I was studying for the CMA program. Drank a lot of coffee, got a lot of studying done before I had to, head off to work and take care of my other obligations. So you're doing the right thing by seeking other support materials. And it depends on what area you need support in, where you should go. But I recommend, the undergrad textbooks, articles, internet, search on the internet for information.
Yeah, I know. I know.
And you'll be very successful. It sounds like you're being very rigorous in your preparation, and that's what it takes.
I cleared my part 1 in my 3rd attempt, Doreen. First time I failed, and second time I failed, I just wanted to quit. I was like, no ways. But I'm determined to be a CMA. And coming from academic background where I was a scientist before. So switching on to finance and accounting was a different world for me. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Dia, best of luck on your journey, and we're all here with you, supporting you. Go Women in Finance, absolutely. And just a reminder, I'm sure you're aware, but everyone who attended today is going to earn 1 IMA CPE credit as you have invested your time with Doreen. And for those of you who maybe are interested in pursuing a CMA or learning more about IMA, IMA is generously offering 50% off IMA membership for any new members that join. There's a 50% off code. It's real simple. It's AmCham, AmCham, UAE. So if you've learned something today, imagine what you can learn by joining this organization. And they are proud long-term members of AmCham. They are very proud gender equality members of AmCham, and we're so thrilled to have Ms. Doreen, Ms. Hanadi Khalif, and Nina, and all the others be a part of it. So I encourage you, we have enjoyed our relationship with IMA. Doreen, Paula writes, does the IMA offer mentorship programs for young people just starting out in the corporate world? And how can education entities get in touch with you?
Okay, yes, we do have mentorship programs, and you can find that also on our website. And I encourage you to get involved with a local chapter of IMA, and I think that's where the best mentoring, informal support happens between people. Getting in touch with the academic team is very simple. You could send an email simply to the customer service folks on our website, and they'll forward it to you. But we have a whole team, a whole department of people that are focused on developing our relationships with universities across the world.
Well, on behalf of everyone on the call, and for those of us who will be watching this post-event, because we all live in our zoned over Zoom world, I want to graciously and heartfelt thank you to Doreen, Bashar, and my dear sister Nina, who helped put all this together and make it happen for all of us here today. And I hope you'll join IMA. I can't recommend them highly enough. And thank you all for joining. And again, my heartfelt thanks, Ms. Doreen, for your time. You're a busy woman, and we greatly appreciate it. And Nina, thank you for you as well. So on that note, this concludes our presentation. You will receive a survey, your CPE certificate of credit, as well as a copy of this recording for you to enjoy in case you thought you've missed anything on your notes. So everyone have a wonderful afternoon. And Doreen, have a good day today. Thanks for getting up early. Thank you, everyone. This concludes. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.